Commitment 2024, Oklahomans have cast their votes.
And now they're being counted.
And tonight, KOCO is bringing you the latest results from the race for the White House,
to the U.S. House, and the race for Oklahoma County Sheriff.
State Senate and House races too.
and even city propositions, some of them worth millions.
We have an entire team of reporters live right now across our viewing area.
Commitment 2024 coverage on KOCO 5 starts now. And right now across the country, former President Donald Trump is leading in the race for the White House. Let's take a look at these numbers. 53% to Kamala Harris's 46%. Of course, much more to be tallied. Let me get you the electoral numbers on this. Former President Donald Trump at 210, Kamala Harris at 113, the magic number 270 electoral votes to win.
And as we take a look at here in Oklahoma, Trump, for the third straight presidential election, will win Oklahoma easily. Right now, Trump taking about 2/3 of the vote in the Sooner State.
We do want to welcome you in here. Thank you so much for joining us on election night. Of course, we have a lot to get through, so let's get to it right now. We have crews at both the Republican and Democratic watch parties this evening. We have some live looks with Zach Rael and Jason Berger. We're going to join them in about 5 minutes.
Right now, we want to get to some local election results, starting with the race for the Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office. Let's take a look at those results here. The incumbent Republican Tommy Johnson III winning the race to become once again the Oklahoma County Sheriff, beating challenger Waylon Cubitt. This one was a rematch. KOCO's Megan Mosley joining us live on this. You see Tommy Johnson's 58% to Waylon Cubitt's 42%. And Meg, you've been covering this. You've turned several stories on this, and you're joining us live as this race has now been decided.
Yeah, Abby, that's right. You said it. Sheriff Tommy Johnson III will hold on to the title of Oklahoma County Sheriff. Again, he got 58% of the vote, so he did win his bid for re-election. Now, we weren't at Tommy Johnson's watch party tonight because he didn't want media there. He really wanted his watch party to be really close friends and family, but we have now been invited out, so after this live shot, we will be out to get his victory speech. But yeah, we've been at challenger Waylon Cubitt's watch party tonight. He actually just gave a concession speech moments ago, really just thanking all of his supporters and just happy for, the campaign that he ran. Now, it looks like, again, Sheriff Tommy Johnson won with 58% of the vote, but, Waylon Cubitt really also thanked Tommy Johnson for this race as well, and he says he didn't get the results that he wanted, but he also said the fight is not over. Now, he did say during his campaign, he thinks he still made an impact on the community just by the campaign that he ran, and he still shined a light on some of the biggest challenges in our community.
I'm going to call Tommy Johnson shortly and concede this race, but I'm going to tell him, don't forget about them. Don't forget about them, because if you don't forget about them, then you don't have to run against me next time.
And again, like I said, we weren't at Tommy Johnson's watch party tonight because he wanted to keep it close, friends and family, but we are on our way to go grab his victory speech right now. Reporting live in Oklahoma City, Megan Mosley, KOCO 5 News.
Megan, thank you. We've also been following this. So many propositions on your ballot today from Yukon, Moore, Stillwater. A lot of big decisions for our Oklahoma cities.
Well, including Edmond as well. Their GO bond or GO bond vote, a heated topic for the city.
Yeah, this was a bond package that promised improvements, but also a big property tax hike. So let's look at the numbers right now. First, street and bridge projects voted down, way down, 69% saying no. What about Parks and Rec? No, 71% no from voters in Edmond. But what about improving firefighting facilities? That one's a little bit closer, but still a resounding no from Edmond voters.
KOCO's Kylie Thomas joining us live tonight. And Kylie, those voters, they made their opinions very clear on this.
Yeah, the message was clear tonight here in Edmond. Voters said no to the $231 million GO bond. This measure would have funded citywide improvements for streets, parks, and public safety. If approved, it would have raised property taxes by 14% for the next decade. That was the sticking point for Edmond voters. I spoke with an organizer against this GO bond. She says voters aren't against improvements, but they're against it being funded this way.
I like meat, any kind of meat. right, I'll go grab one. Go get it quick.
Now, to pass, this GO bond would have needed 50% of the vote. Reporting live in Edmond, Kylie Thomas, KOCO 5 News.
Kylie has been following that one every step of the way. And just into our newsroom, we got this response from Edmond's Mayor Daryl Davis, responding to all of these failing tonight, saying that he appreciates Edmond residents for coming out to the polls and supporting the democratic process, adding there has been a lot of spirited debate on both sides, and these projects still remain a high priority for the city of Edmond.
Now let's head to the city of Moore, where voters deciding on two propositions there. Up first, the $6.7 million GO bond. You can see 55% of voters are saying yes to this one. All of the precincts are in, and this will go toward street and bridge improvements. Also, the 1/4 cent sales tax renewal. This goes to Parks and Public Works. Taking a look at the numbers here, this one getting a yes vote as well with 57% of the votes. We do want to note that this does not raise the city's sales tax. It's just an extension for the next 4 years.
And 5 propositions were on the ballot for voters in Yukon here today. Let's highlight 2 of those for you, starting with Proposition 2. It would create a formal censure process. City leaders saying that this will preserve the dignity and integrity of the city council. And voters are behind it right now. With they had over 70% of the vote. And this next one here, Proposition 5, getting 69% of the vote, allowing residents to elect the mayor in Yukon instead of the city council choosing the mayor as it had done so previously.
And now for our friends in Stillwater, voters there saying yes to a $3 billion project for electricity. This is regarding a data center campus with 72%, a big yes coming from the city of Stillwater.
We are checking in on watch parties that are happening in the metro this evening. KOCO's Zach Rael joining us live from the Republican watch party right now. And Zach, our state's top GOP lawmakers are there watching the results come in.
Well, yeah, guys, it has been a very jam-packed night here. Just about everybody in the Oklahoma GOP has been here. As you can tell behind me, the band is playing very loud. But I got to say, when the band isn't playing, things are actually rather calm. They're quiet here at the Oklahoma GOP. And that's not to say that they aren't celebrating. By every measure, this has been a successful election night for the Oklahoma GOP. In fact, most of the elected officials have already left. As you can tell behind me from the room, most of the people here watching have already left. I think what's going on is everybody is anticipating and waiting for what's going to be happening nationally, specifically who will be the next president of the United States. They're anticipating a long next couple of days ahead before we possibly know who will be the next president of the United States. Speaking with some of Oklahoma's congressional delegation, Representative Stephanie Bice and Representative Tom Cole, they also expressed that same sentiment. Here's what they had to say.
I think it's a very close election. Interesting to look at the real clear average of polls was this morning 48.5 to 48.5, and President Trump was ahead by 0.3 of a point in the battleground states, and that, that's well within the margin of error. But I just think he's got the momentum. Feel very good about the United States Senate. I think we'll have the Senate tomorrow. The House probably breaks the way the presidency breaks, so I feel good about Trump.
I think it's actually going to be a couple of days before we know the presidential outcome, similar to 2020, probably Thursday or Friday before we know final results. Some states are hand counting ballots. It's going to take a little while, and I actually think that it could take longer to find out who's going to be in the House majority.
And you heard them talk about it there. They're obviously hopeful that President Trump will win, that the Republicans will flip control of the Senate, as well as keep control of the House of Representatives. Of course, we will have to wait to find out. Reporting live from the Oklahoma GOP Watch Party, Zach Rael, KOCO 5 News.
Zach, thanks very much. And one of the Republican leaders there tonight, the governor, Kevin Stitt, encouraging unity today, saying no matter who you voted for, it's time to move forward together.
Put all the divisiveness behind us and really debate policy. And that's what I think people are craving is, hey, let's talk about policy, but let's stop the hate stuff that's going on. But whoever wins tomorrow morning, we're all going to be Americans.
And let's take a look again right now at the big race that so many people are watching, with 47% of the vote coming in. Kamala Harris behind Donald Trump in the popular vote as well as the Electoral College right now. But as you heard, there's still quite a ways to go. You need to get to 270 electoral votes in order to claim victory.
And in the race for the president, the AP called Oklahoma very early for former President Donald Trump, en route to winning the state big. But we were ultra interested in this race on a county level. Specifically, could Trump win all 77 counties here in Oklahoma? KOCO Chantel Navarro is joining us live. Chantel, you've been looking at history. You've been breaking down the numbers in Oklahoma County. What are you seeing on this election night?
Well, as of right now, things changed pretty quickly in the past hour for Oklahoma County, at least. As you can see right here, Trump has taken the lead in Oklahoma County, now up ahead by 4,800 votes here, and that is with 100% of precincts reporting here tonight. But take a look at this. This is a map of the precincts from Oklahoma County. As you can see right there, he was up in all of the rural Oklahoma County areas right there, and in the OKC area and in the suburbs, that was where Harris did win there as well. But if you look at this at the state as a whole here in Oklahoma County, 4 more years that Trump will have this as well. So again, that is 100% of precincts here reporting as well. Back to you guys.
Chantel Navarro, thanks so much. We appreciate that. We want to shift to Congress right now. It was a big night for Oklahoma's Republican incumbents, starting with District 1. Over my shoulder, you see Kevin Hern right there as we move the camera this way just a little bit. So Kevin Hern winning easily. Josh Burkeen also winning here, winning re-election, as well as we continue it moving right now. We saw Stephanie Bice. We saw Tom Cole earlier here this evening. We heard from them in Oklahoma County. Tom Cole getting 65% of the vote tonight. Stephanie Bice also very successful in District 5 here, holding on to that seat as well. I believe her third term now. She got 61% to Democrat Madison Horn's 39%. Abby?
Well, Evan, I'll tell you what, the closest statewide race on the ballot that we're seeing is whether to keep 3 state Supreme Court justices on the bench here in Oklahoma. Let's go out to KOCO's Dakota Wapakichi. And Dakota, these races, we've been covering this for a while. I have never seen this much attention. They have never been this contested, Dakota.
Yeah, everything's been changing so fast. I mean, these judicial retention votes have been really close. Justice Gurge, she was losing a little bit ago. Now she's in the lead, and there's just a few precincts left to go. Now, Justice Conger, she was slowly inching back, and now her vote, it looks a little far. She's losing about 20,000 in a difference from yes to no. And Justice Edmondson, he's running away with his retention votes. It looks like it's about 25 to 30,000 vote difference. Now, I'm here at the Oklahoma Democratic Party Watch Party. I talked with Democratic leaders here and at the GOP Watch Party about this tight race.
Especially with these 3, they've been very liberal. They've legislated from the bench. They don't represent Oklahoma values. So I'm hopeful that we will be able to remove them tonight and replace them with constitutional judges.
It shouldn't be this close. It shouldn't be this close. Judges should have judicial independence to follow the law. You shouldn't try to influence judges based on politics. It's about following the law.
Now, we're down to the last few precincts. The last time I checked, it was down to the last 1%, and around 1.5 million Oklahomans voted on this. Reporting live, Dakota Wapakichi, KOCO 5 News.